Welcome back. I did finish reading about the global automotive industry, and I like to talk about it, but actually I'm a little bit too tired to do it tonight. But I was reading this morning about the automotive industry in South Korea, and I made some video about it in my language Danish. I did think about it. I have to do this in English because I have very low numbers of subscribers. I have less 18,000 subscribers, and nobody in Denmark really watching my car videos. So I have to do it in English. But I'll keep doing Danish. But the automotive industry is the second largest industry on the whole planet Earth. I think the largest is food industry, the agriculture and fishing. Agriculture, fishing and food processing. The whole food industry, I think that's only the industry that's big, I think. So the automotive industry is really large, and you have this main countries like Japan, India, United States, and some Germany, France, Spain, and China, of course. They're making a lot of cars. You have some big car nations, and the income from the automotive industry is a very large income from this state's industry income. The yearly income from industry is so large, it's affect the whole country's economic. So the automotive industry is very close connected to states and politics, because the different kind of governments around the world, they use the product from the automotive industry to tax citizens very hard. They use the cars, they tax the cars very hard. They tax the fuels, the gasoline and the diesel. They tax the auto parts very hard, and import tax from cars. So they use this money, they get many billions of dollars from all kinds of taxes from cars and trucks and buses. This is why I call it the automobile industry. So they take, but in Europe, in my country Denmark, they tax the cars very hard, like 200%. Of course, the cars, they're not good for the environment. All these many hundred big automobile factories, the car factories, they use the ocean of water. They use the ocean of metal and minerals. They are producing about 90 million cars, buses and trucks every year. That's about 260,000 every day, and 1 million every 4 days. 10,700 cars every hour around the clock. So that's really this automotive industry is really big, because we're talking about 250,000. They are producing 250,000 automobile every single day. That's automobile, that's a normal cars, passengers cars, and buses, city buses for public transport, and coaches bus, all kind of heavy trucks, long distance trucks, and small trucks for local flight, and small light commercial villages like vans and pickup trucks. Handyman use it. So they're making 250,000 every day They're producing 250,000. They have some super large car factory. Like Hyundai have a super large car factory in southern South Korea called Ulsan. They're making like 1.4 million or 1.6. Actually, I was looking at on satellite map today. But that's not the automotive industry. That's not the automotive industry taxing their cars a lot. That's the government all around the world, the politicians using the product from the automotive industry to tax their own citizens very hard to fill their states money to the state to run the state. But a lot of tax from the automotive industry. They're going to something very good like public health, going to public hospitals, paying education systems, paying public infrastructure like highway bridges, paying police, paying fire protection, paying the defense, they're paying to run the state. So there's many states that really dependent on the money from the automotive industry. Like in my country, Denmark, they tax the cars very hard and the fuel. And Germany, they need the money to run it, to pay the public welfare. So that's why to be a politician, most politicians, they know cars and fuel, that's not good for environment. The impact on the environment is not very good because they use a lot of fossil, a lot of gasoline, called fossil fuel. They use gasoline and diesel. So they have a large negative impact on the environment. But they like to get the money. They like to get the money in the state income. That's why the Norway state, they're expanding to drill for oil and gas. They keep expanding because the oil income from oil and gas will pay the green energy, will pay to make this green energy infrastructure like windmills and solar cells and green electric power. So many states, they need the money to run the state and the public welfare. And they have used the cars, they have used the automobiles and the fuel many decades since Second World War to tax citizens very hard. So, but that's not the automotive industry do this. I think they just like to make a lot of cars and sell a lot of cars. And many 100 million people, they're loving the freedom. They're loving the freedom by owning a car. Because housing prices is very high. The housing prices is very high. To buy a house or apartment is so high, many people cannot afford it anymore. In my country, Denmark, Europe, and in the big cities like New York City, the housing price is crazy. And the big cities in America like Los Angeles, San Francisco, whole Miami, Florida, all the big cities, the housing prices is super high, like London, Paris, Berlin, Copenhagen, my country, Stockholm, Oslo. and Rome, Paris, Tokyo, Seoul, and Hong Kong, Shanghai. The houses pricing is very high. Many places, and it's just getting up and up. And prices to renting apartment is very high. Even people with low income, they cannot afford to pay many thousands of dollars in rent. Just a small 2-room apartment. Like in New York City, a small 2-room apartment costs like $3,000, $3,000 or $4,000. A small apartment like this can cost like $4,000 in the New York City area. But you can own a car. You can own a car if you have a low income. You can own a large car like a station wagon. You can have a station wagon and a mattress behind your station wagon. You can sleep behind your car, and you have this big American SUVs and MPVs. The minibus, they have some very large cars in the United States. In North America, because they have another tax system. I think they not tax the fuel very hard and the cars like they do in Europe and my country. So the cars are much larger in USA. They still have this big V6 engine and the V8 engines. So the cars are much bigger in the United States, and many millions of people with low income, they have to kind of living in their car because they cannot afford to buy an expensive house or apartment, and they cannot afford to pay many $1,000s in rent. So many millions, they are actually kind of sleeping in the car, living in the cars. So a car it's more than just a transportation. A car is not just a automobile for transportation. A car is a little private space. You have a little private space. You can lock your door in your car and sleep. You cook some food. You can have a backpack in your car and you can get around. If you're freezing, you can turn on the engine and put some heating on. And if it's very hot, like my apartment, all very hot, you can put the air conditioner on and cooling down. It's always very hot in my apartment. But if you have a nice big American SUV car or MPV minibus, you can just turn the air conditioner on and sit and have it very nice. You can watch Netflix, watch Netflix. So let's look what I'm reading about. But I need a small restroom break. So I like to stop the video and I need a little bit to drink. So I will take a short break.